All right, so in the previous assignment, I went ahead and I made I separated the pieces into the various things here. Now what I'm going to do is a shirt. So if for some reason your character already had a shirt, like you modeled it and there was a shirt here, what I would suggest is kind of doing what we did here. What you would do is you would just grab the faces of the shirt, extract them out. You would have like just the forearm, let's say, if this was just like a t-shirt. And then I would just extrude the arm a little bit inwards, so that way if you looked underneath the shirt, you would still see skin. And then just add thickness, just add to the edge loop so that way it would have some thickness. I'm doing this a little bit differently because my guy actually wears a tank top, and so I just wanted to put the tank top in there. And I just wanted to be able to have the option of having the tank top on or off, so that way I could sculpt the muscles and stuff, and you guys could see what those look like. But then also I'll do the shirt so you can see what that looks like, and I'll have both options. To do this, there's a couple of different ways I could go about doing it. I think probably the easiest, to be honest, is I'm just going to use this in a live surface and just quad draw the shirt over top of it. Should be pretty easy. So I'm just going to select it, hit quad draw, hit live, make that surface live. Then I'm going to go to quad draw, and then I'm just, I already got symmetry on, and then I'm just going to draw the shirt how I think it should go. Actually, let's not do that. Is this gonna still doing that thing where it's not centering? It's such a weird. I'm just gonna snap these two together. Such a weird thing. So just come on, boom, and I'm just gonna go ahead and boom, boom. Let's go ahead and just pull this farther down, and then we can. Oops, that's too much. And then just snap those together. Okay, and then we'll go. Oops, we'll go again. Boom. And then the shirt's got to go down a little bit more. So we'll go to here. Okay. And then I'll just snap those. All right. So now I got the shirt. I got the center line. And then I think this actually might be a little bit high. I'm going to pull this down. I don't have the illustration up. You should really have your stuff up while you're doing this so that way you can see what it's supposed to look like. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Then I'm just going to do the collar going around. And I'll try to do it in as few as possible. Again, it's a lot easier to remove geometry, right, than not. So let's go ahead and see. Oops, we're going to put one in between here too, so that way I have a nice center line to work with. Boom, and we'll just snap that. Come on, boom. Oh, really? I thought I had it. Boom. Okay. And then let's snap these. And how many did I go down? Doesn't really matter. We'll do one more because we'll match it up when we get there. Okay, good. So now I've got that. And then the other thing here is the armholes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So you can see what my focus really is trying to get the main edge loops around, right? Just like we did before. And then I'll just connect them however I have to in order to make, oops, forgot another, however I need to make that work. So we'll go like that, boom, boom, and boom, 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 and boom. Okay. So something like that. I'd be a lot more particular, but I'm just gonna, for the purpose of this video, try to get it done. Okay. So that looks fine. I think this could use more geometry just in general, so we'll just do the same thing here. These can obviously go here. So I think everything is now connected. Probably that could connect too. That looks fine. And then here is going to have to start separating, so we'll just go here, 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 here. We'll say, just pull that down a little bit. This could just use another one. Put one here. Now, mind you, this is a shirt, so let's go ahead and put that there. It's not going to have the same topology as the body. Like this isn't going to follow this thing necessarily. And then here, I guess it'll separate again. So we'll go here, boom. Oops, no, thank you, boom. It's important to say no thank you to the computer because someday they're going to rule the world, and I want my overlords to not murder me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I would prefer that anyway. So go like that, and then we'll do this. This will just go a little bit farther down. Put one here. There we go. Put one here. Okay. Here. We'll put another one here. Boom. Another one here. Good. And then let's see. How is that looking across? Oh, like matches up. almost like I know what I'm doing. Okay, let's go like that. I know you're not fooled. Okay. Boom, boom, and then we'll do this, and okay, all the way around. Okay, and we need another one there. That looks pretty okay. So I'm just going to kind of spread that around, just holding shift and just trying to make the topology a little bit nicer. Okay, just kind of smooth out. Okay, that looks, come on, there we go. That looks acceptable. All right, so I'm going to call that good. That's a good kind of layout for the shirt. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just basically adjust it. So I'm going to stop making the surface live. And I'm going to hit Shift I, so I only have that visible because it'll be easier to work with. And oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this first so you can see. I didn't realize I was still on that tool. Q, Shift I. Nope, nothing selected. Shift I. I'm going to grab that shirt again. I'll just do this. Okay. I'm going to grab the shirt again. But one of the things I want to do is that it needs to be bigger than this, right? Like a little bit more. So a neat way to do that is I'm just going to use that normals thing again. So I'm going to go here. We'll hit the W tool. And I don't know if normals, will that work if I... No, see, I got to have the vertices selected. So we'll grab, not those ones. Come on. Let's do it this way. Got to get all up in there. Vertex. Okay. And I'm just going to grab them all. And I'm just going to go ahead and I think that's north, right? Yeah, and I'm just going to puff it up just a little bit so that, there, we'll say. Let's put this back to object. Okay, so now you can see it's slightly above. I'm going to grab this edge loop, and I'm just going to Control E, and I'm just going to extrude it in so that it looks like it has thickness. I don't have to go all the way in. I just need to go to there because, it'll just look like it's like that. So we'll grab this one. I'll do the same thing. I'm just going to hit G because the last thing I did was extrude. And we'll just push this in roughly to what I think the thickness should be. And we need to do the same thing down here, G. And I'll push this one in a little bit as well. Okay. Now, if the shirt had more detail, I'd put that in there. I think it does have like bags and stuff, but I could probably mostly just do that when I get to the actual sculpting because I have enough geometry really to support what we have. So I'm going to say that that's probably good enough for the shirt. So then I have other things I need to do. So let's just do the claws. There's nothing special with that. Basically, if your character has an item or something that you want them to have, just sculpt it like you would sculpt anything else. So for the claws here, I'm just gonna sculpt it like they're like just box modeling, typical sculpt. Or I'm not sorry, sculpting. I'm just gonna model it in the typical box modeling fashion. I'm not gonna be too concerned. Oops. Oh, because it's on this. That's why I'm off. I'm not going to be too concerned about the, I think they should be the same thickness all the way, I believe. Definitely thinner than that. Let's skinny that up. Oops. Hang on. Skinny that up. There we go. And we'll say like that. And then I think this edge is probably a bit thinner. So something like that. I don't know. I got to look at them, but just imagine I did a good job. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it like roughly into place of where I think it should be. So we'll say something like that. And then I'm just going to duplicate it so that I have the other ones. And duplicate. Okay. And then each one of these should probably go in. Oops. Should go in a little bit. Okay, and then we'll just unselect that one and push this one in quite a bit more. Okay, imagine that looks good. I know it's hard, but just imagine if you could. Okay, the other thing I need to do is this belt. So I could do this a couple different ways. I could either just like start with box modeling, work my way around. I could also just do what we did before, which I think is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use the quad draw tool because it'll be easier. So I'm just going to click on that, go to the quad draw tool. You see I like the quad draw tool quite a bit. Let's go ahead and we're do object X. Now, obviously, I made him completely symmetrical. I would still suggest making the character symmetrical if you can. It's just going to be easier to model, to be frank. And then what you can do is use like blend shapes or something like that to put asymmetrical features in the model itself. So we'll just go like this, and I'm just going to do a bunch of pieces here. There's other techniques too, like we could use a curve and then extrude across the curve, but I don't think that's really all that necessary. Come on, snap, there we go. All right. So now we've got sort of a belt looking thing. Let's just add a couple more things here while we got it live so it'll round up. See, that didn't go quite where I was hoping it would. There we go, it's a little better. This could probably slide this way a little bit. All right. Again, I would probably do a little bit better of a job than what I'm doing, but I don't want to waste so much time with me, finicking with it. So I have that there. I'm just going to go to regular. I'm going to turn off the live mode. I'm just going to extrude it, Control E. I'm going to go ahead and let this actually be like have thickness and go around, just because I could potentially have it like fold over or something like that. That might be fun looking. So I have that. Now, in order to support this, he should actually have those little bits that go across. I can approach this one of two ways. I could either build it directly into the model, so I would add edge loops and then extrude those around, or I could model just separate little pieces that come across. Technically, they are separate little pieces. It kind of depends on what you're trying to do. So believe it or not, for game design, it would actually be more beneficial to make it separate pieces, because in order to support, like, let's say I want to have like this come from the model and around it into it, I would have to add more geometry to this, and a decent amount more than if I just did the pieces, because I'd have to have all the edges and stuff so that this could connect to those I don't know what they're called. They're like stirrups for your belt. So I'm actually just going to make it as a separate piece. I'll just hit the box cube, and I'm just going to hold V points W and V to point snap right here, and we'll just pull this guy out a little bit, and I'm just going to scale it wider like so. That looks acceptable, we'll say. Let's go like that a little bit. W. Okay. And then I'm just going to, I'm just going to take this and extrude. So Control E, bonk. And I guess so we'll just extrude out a little bit, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn it a little bit, and I'll scale it up a little bit so I don't lose too much thickness. Then we'll Control E, W, I'll pull that down like so. That's mostly acceptable. I'll hit E to rotate, and you can see it's, oh no, it's doing the right orientation. So we'll go ahead and go like that. Okay, boom. And let's go inwards a little bit, and then I'll hit Control E. That's just hit W for move, and I'm just going to go ahead and move this down and in. And it's not the greatest looking thing in the world, but it's there. Go like that, and I'm just going to add some edge loops in here so that it's a little bit more meaty, if you will. Let's put one here too, and then what we can do is grab this edge loop and push that in a little bit like that. Grab this one, go like that, and then we can take this one just to give it a little bit of variation. Good. And now we have one of our, that's way too thick. Let's get that in a little. Okay. Something like that. I don't know. Imagine I did a good job. So we're just going to go ahead and duplicate that. And I'm just going to, oops. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on each little bit here. Like so. Okay. And then we'll duplicate that again. You probably get the idea of what we're doing. Let's do this. Make things a little bit easier. I'm going to grab this one and this one. Control G, Control D. Let's move this pivot in here. Type in -1 on Z. Let's make it simpler. Okay. All right. And, okay. And then I can just hone these in from this point. So this has got to go this way. Okay. This one's got to rotate this way. A little bit more. All right, W. Okay, then we'll grab all of these. Oops, you can probably tell what we're going to do. Control G, then Control D. Then we'll do, move that. Oh, it's already on the center. That's good. Then we'll just do -1 on X. And voila. Now I've got the straps for the belt. I also need to make the belt buckle. I'm not going to make you watch me do that whole thing, but you could do that. Now, there's some other details and things that you might want to also add to your model. His claws aren't long enough. Let's make these a little bit bigger. and a little bit longer. Sorry, it's like not important, but okay. So you might want to add some other details, like you have the necklace and stuff, but you also might want to add things just to the things as well. So for instance, these have pockets, and they also have that bit here. Now, kind of depends if it's a video game. I don't know that that's going to break the silhouette, but if you did, you could do something where you would add maybe the pockets there. So I'm picturing it being these two edges here. So I could do something where like I could go here, then here, then we'll say here and here, right? And then I would cut here to here. Okay, and I'm going to grab, come on, go to vertices. There you go. I'll grab this and just pull this down like that so you can see roughly that's where the pocket would be. Then what I could do is go to the multi-cut tool. Since these are triangles, go like that, right? And then I can take this and push this in a little bit, right? And if you look, do I have symmetry? Oh, good, I did. I didn't think I did. Now, if I had 3, you'll see there's kind of a hint of pocket. It's nothing too crazy, and it's still quads, but it gives me the geometry I would need, and then I could take this and move that around. But it gives me somewhat the geometry I need in order to make a looking sort of pocket, right? So you get kind of the idea, right? And I could do something similar on the top here, like add like some edge loops right here, and then make it look like a pocket on the back. But I really don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. But if you want to add more things, I would highly suggest, because some of you guys have some people who are pretty decorative. Your characters, like they have like parachute pants and they got like these straps that go around. I would just keep using that quad draw tool. It's a really easy way of basically just drawing out the clothing. It's just going to be easier in general to do. So yeah, you can see here's my Logan guy. I'm going to say that that's probably good enough, but now I've got all the pieces. And then also make any adjustments that you might need to do in order to make this work. Okay. Yeah, so we'll call that good. That's the rest of that